day, everyone, and welcome back to our antenatal class. Today, we're going to be continuing with our general baby care with Sister Ingrid Groenewald, who will be taking us through more details on how to care for your baby.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here with you today again, that we can continue talking about babies, something I can talk about the whole day long. And I want to just introduce you again to my baby Erica. And she's, together with myself, we're going to demonstrate certain things on how to do certain things. So for today, we're going to talk about how to change your baby's nappy, and then also bathing your baby, and then how to dress your baby appropriately. You know, we live in a country with some extreme weather temperatures sometimes, and it is important to know exactly what should you actually put on your baby. Okay, so if we can start with the nappy changing, you might have a doll, you might already have your baby. If not, you've got a doll, you can actually practice this. And I would even say, perhaps for the partners or the husbands or the men, it is also a good idea to actually learn how to do this correctly. Okay, but also remember that everything is learned on the job as well. And we are able to make mistakes. Sometimes you do something and it didn't really work well for you, and you keep doing something and you change certain things until you find something that really works for you. Okay. So for a nappy change, the first thing that you need is to have a place to do this. It can be in your room, it can be in the baby's room, it can be sometimes in the lounge, wherever. But it is important to have a place that you can stand comfortable, that you don't have to bend your back in an awkward position, because this is something that you're going to do quite frequently. And if you're always standing funny, you will probably have some back spasms and feeling really uncomfortable at some point. So it is important to also look after your own health. Okay, so now we've got a table that is a good height for me. I've got my baby that I'm going to change the nappy, and I'm going to put her here that you can see nicely. Then also it's important to just get everything ready before you start. You don't want to start halfway through the nappy change and then suddenly realize, oh, you want this or that and you need to go fetch it. You can't just never ever leave your baby on any kind of surface like on the nappy changing table and think you're quickly running to fetch something else that you need, because this is the time that babies can easily also fall off surfaces, and we want to avoid that. Okay, it can be very stressful. So rather have everything before you start, have everything ready. And I'm going to show you, I have a nappy, that's a new clean nappy that I'm going to put on my baby Erica. And also I've got some extra clean clothes, because it's quite interesting that, and you'll also see that once you have your baby, is that once you think you're opening the nappy and you're changing the nappy, the minute the nappy comes off, the baby will probably wee. So it is an important thing to just have new or clean clothes available, so that if you need to change your baby into a different outfit, that you've got it close by. Okay, so I've got that. Then also I've got a little bucket that I can use to clean the bum with. This is just for having some nice clean warm water. And it is best to actually use some water that is really comfortable, because just imagine if somebody would wipe your bum with something that is really cold, you will probably not enjoy that. Okay, so your baby is little you, so what you enjoy, your baby also enjoys. Okay, so have some warm water available. It helps to have a flask close by. You can just put some water in when you need it, and you don't have to run to the kitchen to get warm water. Okay, then also for the beginning, for the first few weeks, I recommend actually using some cotton wipes. And this is really like a little wipe like this that you can see. This works well to wipe and to clean the bum area. Sometimes some of the chemicals or some of the creams and so on that is on the wet wipes itself, it can actually sometimes cause a rash. Later on, one can use, you can start using wet wipes. But for this purpose of this video, I'm going to use the wipes. Okay. Then a little tip that if you've got everything now ready, you want to change the nappy, is to lots and lots of talking with your baby. So lots of talking, just telling her this is going to be fine, we're changing the nappy, you know, not quietness in the room, definitely some interaction. Okay, she's going to look at your face, so definitely make sure to keep that interaction going. Then also the little hands sometimes fly everywhere, so it helps to have the arms contained. So you can take the arms like this, and then when you changing or when you're opening the nappy or more the vest area, you can keep the arms contained, and then this vest you can actually put over the arms. Okay, so this is a little tip for you. So this actually then keeps the arms contained, and if the arms are in this position, it's really comfortable for her. Okay, then you can just open the nappy, and you can see, okay, she had a poo. You just lift the little feet. If you've got socks on, take off the socks. She will probably bend the little feet, and then the feet are in the nappy area. So let's keep the feet clean. And then it is to just, you can just put this under the bum like this. I'm taking a wet wipe, a cotton wipe, just putting a little bit of water on it, and then wiping from top to bottom. And that is quite important, from front to back or from top to bottom. So you wiping and then throwing that away, having a new wipe from top to bottom and throwing that away. And with little girls, you just basically clean all over. Don't open the little lips and go in deep to actually clean unless you see something there, but usually there's no need for that. Okay, and for little boys, you can just clean around also with the scrotum, just lift the scrotum and underneath just clean properly. It is sometimes that something is missed. And then also just important for little boys with that are circumcised, that are not circumcised, do not pull down or pull back on any foreskin. You know, that is going to hurt your baby. So you just clean over the area. Okay, so now this bum is clean. You can take this dirty nappy out. And the tip here is to actually roll the nappy in on itself, take the little sticky sides, make it into a little parcel, okay? And then it's easy to just throw it away. Then you have your new nappy, and here for new parents, sometimes they get it wrong, is to think if you're looking at a nappy, you've got a side that has sticky sides. Those sticky sides come under the back of the baby, okay? So I'm lifting the little feet to lift the bum, put this under, and then just putting the new nappy on. You will notice I did not put any kind of bum cream on. And the reason for that is that you actually don't need a lot to put on the skin. Unless the baby has a nappy rash, and you see it's very rare, then you can actually put something on to help heal the skin. But for a healthy bum that is just of normal color, there is no reason why you have to put things on the bum the whole time. It's important to note that the bum cream itself can sometimes clog the nappy, and the nappy is quite important to be able to function correctly. It pulls in the wetness, so you don't want the pores clogged. So the more you put on, the more easy it can become clogged. So that is what we're trying to avoid at this point. So this baby doesn't have a nappy rash, so I did not put any nappy cream on. Okay, or bum cream. Then I'm just opening this again, and I'm closing the nappy. Right, so this is something as you go along, it will become easier to do. The first time it might be feeling awkward, and the more you do this, the more it's going to become quite second nature. You will change quite a bit of nappies. The first couple of weeks in life with the baby, you change sometimes 8 to 12 nappies in 24 hours. And then suddenly around about the 6-week mark, the dirty nappies become a lot less. So babies not pooing specifically every day. I'm talking specifically about breastfed babies. And here we say 8 dirty nappies in 1 day, or 1 dirty nappy in 8 days. So if you start skipping a few days, don't stress, this is quite normal. Okay, so but you will see that nappy changing becomes second nature, and it becomes that you do this quite frequently. Okay, right. Then if we move on and we think, okay, now how do we care for a baby? Do you need to wash your baby every day? Okay, then the answer definitely is no. For a newborn baby, you don't need to wash your baby every day. You can actually quite easily just bath your baby once a week, okay? But for the other days, you can just top and tail, and that is where you would wash the face, behind the ears, the neck area, and so on. But definitely no need to actually put the baby into the water every day. It is something that for most new parents can be very stressful to bath your baby, because you are, the baby's unhappy, perhaps it comes with lots of crying, and then it actually stresses you out. So it is best to try to avoid bathing every day, okay? Unless you really enjoy it and your baby enjoys it, then that is something that you might do more frequently. But this is something that you learn on the job, and it becomes easier. Your baby becomes happier with the bathing, and then you can start bathing your baby more. Then what we actually need for a bath, to bath your baby, you need some sort of baby bath, okay? You also would need 2 towels initially. I've got one here, and then I've got another one. And I just want to show you, this towel actually has one of these little corners where you can put your baby's head in, and that actually helps to dry the hair. And I also have a face cloth available if I need that. I've got some clean, dry clothes that I want to dress my baby in once baby is cleaned. And then obviously the nappy that you can put on once you finish bathing your baby. Now, also important to note that bathing your baby can be at any time of the day. There's not only one correct way or one correct time in the day to bath your baby. For some people, they find early in the mornings is better, and for other people, late in the afternoons or even in the middle of the day, when it's perhaps the warmest time in the day, especially if we've got winter and it's really cold. A warm time of day might be the best option for that family. Okay, so you will see what works well for you. Some families find, or some new moms find, that babies sleep really nice after a bath. So then, a lot of times babies are, bathed late in the afternoons or even sometimes early evenings to try to help with, with a better sleep time directly after the bath. Okay, so I just quickly want to show you with this towel. I just have this towel ready. You can just pick up my baby. And then this corner, I'm just folding down, okay? And you are going to start by just undressing your baby, okay? So I'm undressing my baby Erica, taking off the clothes, and then also this. Right, so you will note I left the nappy on, and the reason for that is it just helps to just not wee and poo on everything, okay? So it just keeps everything else clean for now. I'm wrapping her in the towel, so that it's easy for me to pick her up, and it contains a little arms. If I pick her up like this, you can see she's completely covered in the towel, and I can easily hold her like this. The reason for this, if you hold her like this and she's lying comfortably against you, you can clean the face and you can clean the head area quite easily, okay? I again have little wipes available to use to clean the face initially for the first few weeks, and then later on you can start moving to a face cloth. Whenever you start with a face cloth, just make sure it's always a clean new face cloth, or just a clean face cloth that you're using every time, and it's not something that has been used before, okay? I will have my bath ready. And then also important to think is, how much water do you put in the bath? The question perhaps here is to ask, how much water do you put in for yourself? If you bath, none of us or most people don't like bathing in water that is just very shallow, that just your bum is sitting in the water. It's not comfortable. And what's not comfortable for you is not comfortable for your baby. I would actually say the more water you put in the bath, the more comfortable it actually is for the baby. Okay, so put nice lots, at least half the bath should be filled with water. Okay. With the, I'm just going to take this away again that I can see you better. With the face washing, what I would use is a little wipes, and this is what you would also do for a top and tail. So every day when you're not bathing your baby, you would wash the face and this area, because sometimes with drinking, lots of milk can actually run here, and it can become quite, you know, sticky, and it might even cause a rash, perhaps. Okay, so by using this, you put it in the water, and you just give your baby a wipe over the eyes, from the nose over the eyes, and you throw this one away, and you take the next one in the water, and if I turn around it, you can just see basically from the nose over to the one side, and a new one from the nose over to the other side. So you do this always with a new a cotton wipe. If you're using the face cloth later on, I would say you take one corner and you give it a wipe, and then you take another corner, and you basically use the other for the other eye. So this way, you know that you're always using a new place, and that is quite safe. Okay, then the rest of the face, the neck area behind the ears, and so on. Once that is done, you can wash the head and the hair. Usually, again, for the first few weeks, we avoid any kind of lotions or soaps. It can cause a rash, so it's okay to just use plain water. And again, in this position, you've got her. She's comfortably safe against you. And with this hand, you can actually rinse or wash the head. Okay, once the head is clean, you basically take the towel and put it over her head like this, and you can see you can dry her quite easily. Then for the rest of the body, if I can just quickly go over that as well, is just by opening the body, you take off the nappy. If it's obviously dirty at this point, you would need to wipe and just clean the bum area. But if not, you can just take away the nappy. And now is the time that you would need to pick her up. And I'm just going to show you again. You take your hand under her neck and face area, and with this hand you can just hold the hand like this, the arm, and you can pick her up like this. This is how you would then put her in the water, in the bath. You can just give her a little bit of a movement, you know, in the water, and it's comfortable for her. A tip here is that you can take a face cloth, for example, and put that over her body. Sometimes they like if it's nice and warm before, you know, getting into the water, and then you can put her in, okay? And then once she's in the water and she enjoys this can be as long as you want, the bathing. Okay, so you wash the rest of the body. Remember, every toe, every finger, and it can be something that's quite enjoyable, okay? When baby's finished bathing and you think she's nice and clean, you can again just take her out, go to the table where you've got everything ready. You just put her down, and this is a quick motion. You basically immediately put her on the towel, wrap her up, and pick her up. This is not going to be enjoyable for your baby. She's going to cry. So that is why I'm doing this quickly, and I can quickly pick her up, and I can just give her a wrap and just dry her. Okay. So once she is then dried and she's happy and she's contained and she is again her normal happy self, that is the time that I would now start dressing her. Okay, so that is really the bath. And like I said, this is something that you will see what works for you when that, you know, it's something that you learn on the go as to how exactly it works best for you to do it. It can even be that one of you might be in the big bath and somebody else hands the baby to you. You can wash your baby in the big bath, and then the baby is then handed back, you know, to your partner. Then, you know, to dress and to dry the baby. So there are different ways of doing this. Okay, you will find your feet. Now, if we think about dressing baby, okay, so now this baby is now bathed, so I want to actually just dress her. Again, I would start with putting a nappy on first, okay, then you know that is now clean. And then it would be by thinking, okay, what do you need to put on your baby? And this is where in most cases, I would recommend a vest and a baby grow. This is definitely the most comfortable clothing for your baby. Something that is loose. It's not something that sits tight around the belly, not something like, you know, like a dungaree or denims or so, you know, those kind of clothing it's really cute and it's really nice for a photo, but to have your baby sleeping comfortably, you want something that is loose around the body so that your baby is really comfortable. Okay, so usually a vest and a baby grow. If it's cold, I would add some socks, and you can even add a little beanie for the head if it's really cold. Okay, always think that with a baby, you actually have to add one layer. So perhaps it's a good idea thinking, what do you have on today? How you feel, you add one layer. So if it is cold and you've got perhaps long sleeve things on, then you might have a long sleeve vest underneath the baby, and then the baby grow. If it's warm like it is where I am currently, I have a short sleeve thing on, you might have a short sleeve vest, and if it's, because it's not really that hot, it's just cool, but it's okay here, I would actually then put a long sleeve baby grow on. If it's really hot and it is, in the middle of the summer and you're sweating, then I would say perhaps just the vest or leave out the vest. So it's always to think one layer more. The same goes with kind of blankets. One often sees moms walking around with babies outside, and it is a huge pile of blankets, and you can almost not even see the baby inside in the middle. That is too much, okay? Think about yourself. Will you be comfortable in that environment? If you think you'd be very hot, then your baby is too hot, okay? So one layer more than what you would need, okay? You can also check the temperature of the baby with your hand. So you would need to put your hand on the skin, on the chest of the baby. That is what's going to tell you if your baby is hot or not. If you feel the little hand, so if I take this little baby's hand and I feel her hand or her feet, you will probably always think your baby's cold, and that is not correct. The baby might actually be hot. So always remember putting your hand on the inside against her chest or her back area and feel if she's hot or not. You can also test the temperature of your baby if you've got a thermometer, and I would say anything between, let's say, 36 and 37.5 is considered a normal temperature. But I wouldn't just constantly every 5 minutes testing that, the temperature. It's nice to have it, but if you are unsure, then you can do this, but also just by feeling your baby. You will also know exactly what your baby feels like. You kiss your baby a lot, so you know exactly my baby's temperature. This is about what it feels like. You will know if your baby is hot. Okay, so those are just the tips for today for changing the nappy, for bathing, and then also for dressing baby.